Hey, welcome to Impress the Boss. I'm Catherine.
I'm Laurel.
And I'm Valerie.
And we're here to help you stand out without working overtime. This week, we're going to be talking about Bob-Ullet. Now, if you're listening to this, it might sound a little strange until I explain. If you're reading the description, you might get what's it called? What we're alluding to. So we're going to talk to you about Bob-Ullet. We're going to share a use case, and then we're going to share some hopefully thought-provoking questions for you to think about this week about how you can impress your boss and how to stand out. So Bob-Ullet is this play on a mullet. I mean, I think a mullet is just this iconic hairstyle that represents so much in one thing.
Totally does.
Totally making a comeback. And actually, I don't know, 10 years ago, I would have said a mullet looks terrible. And now I'm like, it looks kind of cool, living on the edge a little bit. Trendy. So if you have a mullet, kudos to you. So anyway, but, a Bob-Ullet is all about business in front and party in back. So this is the guy that, wears suits and rules the roost, but visits his favorite haunts on the weekend and is just living it up. So Bob-Ullet has some challenges, though. Like, it could be very easily become all about the party where, they might become lackadaisical about actually getting some work done. It could become more about trying the perception of what he's trying to portray, maybe trying to portray a cool perception or a perception of fitting in or a perception of doing something specifically that the integrity ends up compromising. So I think this idea of managing a perception really relates to a specific Enneagram type.
A little bit like Enneagram 3, wanting to appear to be that ambitious, driven person. Yeah.
Yep. But not always following through to that end, right? So Bob-Ullet definitely has challenges just sometimes getting things done. Yeah. So Laurel, I know you have a use case to share with us about Carl.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Carl. So Carl definitely is known in his organization for getting things done, but maybe getting only the necessary things done. So he looks ambitious, looks driven, a little bit like we talked about, but isn't maybe going above and beyond or is not necessarily known for going above and beyond, that he has a tendency to get distracted by the fun stuff and maybe ignore the critical things or not focus on the right things that he should be paying attention to. So Carl, this came to his attention because after 8 years, he wasn't promoted.
That's a long time.
Long time.
Not be promoted.
Yeah. So gone without a promotion for 8 years. And so focusing on this, why is this happening? Why am I not getting a promotion? And what maybe is going on here? And maybe some of the, it's not about me. I'm doing everything right. A little, as you said, Catherine, managing the perception a little bit, but then ultimately kind of coming to the realization that maybe I need to do some changes and make some changes for myself a little bit and change my behaviors and my work patterns in such a way that I'm going to be doing the right things and focusing on, those more important, more critical components of the role. So for Carl, I think that was a big piece of it, of just figuring out what was it that he needed to be focusing on to, maybe put himself in that place that he could have a potential for promotion.
Absolutely. Priorities.
Yep, exactly.
And this brings us to, what are the signs if you are a Bob-Ullet? And we have 4 questions that you can ask. And the first question would be, do you find yourself with the tendency of breaking plans or commitments or appointments because something else better comes along? And the second question you can ask is, do you find yourself compromising your integrity because you have an opportunity to maybe make more money, or maybe something just will be easier? And that is something to really take into consideration if you are a Bob-Ullet. A third question would be, are you the first one? I mean, the last one in the office and the first one to leave the office. And the fourth
last
question.
in, first out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Last in, first out.
Too much party.
And that goes along with what Laura was describing too, in her example of if you are a Bob-Ullet, do you do just enough just to get by?
That's right.
Do you do just that project half-heartedly, but you get it done, but you're not really all in? So basically the question is, are your strengths turning or becoming to be your biggest detriments?
Yeah, because the Bob-Ullet brings this party aspect to the workplace. And the workplace is so stressful these days. There's so much that you have to get done.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of expectation. Everyone's expected to do 2 jobs and only be paid for 1.
Sure.
So you want that. You want that party. You want that
Yes.
jazz that comes in and really brings a comedic relief to the workplace for sure.
Right.
But, you know, does it compromise who you are or as an individual, which is the challenge.
Right.
So.
That's a big challenge. Yes.
So hopefully these are some thought-provoking questions for you this week to think about. If you're a Bob-Ullet or you work with a Bob-Ullet, we'd love to hear your stories and experiences. Share on social with #ImpressTheBoss. And thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you listening in. If you'd like to learn more about the Bobs, go to impresstheboss.com, where you will see all our Bob characters and hopefully find one that you relate to as well. While you're there, subscribe to be part of our crew and you'll get our free tool download. Also, follow us on social, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook for our daily standout tips. Thanks for joining, and until next time, Bob's out.